Okay, let's get into basket making. The first thing we're going to look at is the different materials that are available to us. So I make two types of baskets. I make the natural fibre, but I also like to use the cray rope, and they make beautiful baskets as well. So this little stash that I've got here on the chair, which is enough to make a decent sized basket, I have picked up the last 2 mornings on my morning walk. And that's just walking around Geraldton. Your garden is also another really good source of materials. So we'll go through some of these things because I'm sure you're going to be familiar with them. So right here at the front, these ones here have come down off a palm tree. They are quite hard, they will need to be soaked, and once they're soaked you can split them into smaller pieces and use them in your basket that way. Another thing that has come off a palm is these ones just here. Oops. Okay, so many different sorts of palms, and they all have so many different sorts of flower spikes. This one here is a flower spike as well. So I think you'd probably be familiar with this one. They come in varying sizes. The bigger flower spikes give really big, rustic, bubbly baskets, and they are quite beautiful. So we have also got couch grass, one of my favourite things for making baskets. These runners had the misfortune of being over the footpath where I go walking. So every now and then I bend down and rip a few out and I bring them home. I usually give them a day or so to dry out. Now this one here as well is one that I picked up on the railway station platform. It's a fairly fine grass. It's got a little bit brittle now, so along with everything else it's going to be soaked before I use it. The other baskets I love to make are the rope baskets. So I'm fortunate enough to have some reasonably sized pieces of rope that's pretty much the same colour. And I also love to pick up the little tiny pieces, because these little pieces here, when they're all added together, they make the most magical baskets. So very bright and very vivid. So that is some of the things that we can make it out of. Perhaps if we are getting from the garden, I would stay away from anything that's fleshy, because that's not going to make a good material to use. But vines are very good to use. So if you're using vines, they can often be made use green, and they work very well that way. But just be a little bit aware that as they dry, they will shrink, and when they shrink, your basket won't be as tight as what it was when you made it. But for most people, that's not going to be a problem. So okay, that's materials. On to the next one, and the next one is, how do I stitch it all together?